Hello. So, Kay Ryan, that's K-A-Y Ryan, is an American poet. She's a current American poet. She's alive. She is an important American poet. She was the American Poet Laureate from, I think, 2008 to 2010. American Poet Laureates only have to serve a 2-year term. Anyway, I have a big fetish for her poem, The Niagara River, which I'm going to talk to you about right now. So, her poem, The Niagara River, which is a newish poem. It's from 2003. It's from her collection called The Niagara River. It's titled after the poem, and it's the lead-off poem in the collection. It's very short. So, I'll include the text to the poem in the blog right underneath this video. So, I'll read it. The Niagara River. As though the river were a floor, we position our tables and chairs upon it, eat, and have conversation. As it moves along, we notice, as calmly as though dining room paintings were being replaced, the changing scenes along the shore. We do know this is the Niagara River, but it is hard to remember what that means. Now, the first time I read this poem, I was like, okay, whatever, and then I went on to the next one. And it wasn't until I came back to it a few months later that I got it. And maybe you guys are smarter than me and you really get it right away. But it says everything about human existence right there. So, the Niagara River is, it's life. It's us going through life. And you can really break this down if you wanted to really talk about, like, life being a river that pulls us along instead of something that we propel. But obviously, we all know how the Niagara River ends, right? In the falls. And we all know how life ends, right? But as we go through life, like the people in this poem, we ignore the end. We do know this is the Niagara River, but it is hard to remember what that means. And there's not just that, though, because in the middle it talks about how the changing scenes along the shore we don't really notice, which is, of course, the events of our life and all these crazy things that are happening to us. When we're in the flow of it, we're not really noticing. She says, as it moves along, we notice, as calmly as though dining room paintings were being replaced, the changing scenes along the shore. You can go back through this poem, and it's very short, so it's easy to spend a lot of time with. You can go back through this poem 100 times, and every time you're like, oh my God, there's that thing about life, there's that thing about life, oh my gosh, there's that thing I always thought. There's so much, I think there's like 31 words or something in this poem, and it's just, it's like dense. It's all boiled down. So I won't try and kill it here, but I mean, you've got the poem in front of you now, so it's something, you've got to admit. I mean, who wants to remember how the river ends, right? But we do know.